Looks like we got him.
Incorrect. I got him.
Well, either way, we're gonna collect this bounty. What the?
Oops, sorry there, folks. Didn't notice the song had ended. Hope you're doing well. Gonna be a bit of a lower energy stream, it sounds like, from how I'm speaking. I haven't done much speaking today, so that might be part of it as well. I guess we're set over here, so I'll go over. Hey, folks. Cody here with IronVerse Comics, and hopefully we'll be talking through some pre-launch jitters. See if I can get myself over this hump today. Today's been a weird one. So most of this week, totally doing fine. Was totally ready and jazzed for things to happen, to get this going, to take the next big step in the work I love to do. And man, today I couldn't, I got out of bed, I did what I needed to do, but the amount of effort and willpower that took was incredible and not very common. How do you, Bar? I know I'm not allowed to have jitters, that's why I'm having trouble. That's the thing. Like, I'm not spooked about failing. That's not the bit. All the circus, all the energy you put into it, all of that, and failing. That's not a. It sucks. You can go back to our hardcover pre-launch, our hardcover campaign, and the final video while it was closing out and finishing, and then towards the the end of it, you can see it hit, it hurt me. But that's not so much where I'm having my difficulties. Where I'm having my difficulties is, you can look at all these numbers, you can think you have it all figured out, and you done fucked up. And that's what happened with the last campaign I ran. Um, that one had a lot of weird global factors occurring. Uh, that didn't help. And then did help in a way, but didn't help for the majority of it. And then that whole campaign too, it didn't look like we were going to fund, and we got about 40% of our funding the final day. It's incredible that happened. I've never seen a crowdfunding community rally like that. That was fucking beautiful. But I don't know. This one has like a lot less energy behind it than any of the previous things I run, even my first. And I am again. It's not so. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not stoked today on it. Tomorrow, it should be much better. Today, yeah. Force you to click the button. So that's the thing so far. It's gonna happen. I'm not gonna cancel it or postpone it. I have live stream scheduled. I've hyped it and I had it moving and mutable throughout this week, trying to figure out what day would work best. And I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, all of that. Tomorrow was the best day I could do it. It's my last day off before I go back to work for a few. And I'm planning to probably be here all day tomorrow. That's not the. It's gonna launch, right? It's gonna launch. Um, so honestly, worrying about shit is pointless. But it's been one of those days. Been one of those days. Um, you just don't you don't know what's gonna happen, and that's fine. You can build a machine, and even then, when the machine's running and you see it run multiple times, you still can't guarantee everything's gonna work every time. We don't even have that machine. Uh, but trying to, I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to make sure and do a lot more work today than I have so far ended up doing. I'll do some more here in a bit. Just to see if that'll reassure me going through the numbers again. But been in pre-launch for God 6 months, something like that, right? Um, almost 7 months, and I couldn't even rally 200 to it. And the Kickstarter hardcover collection, I rallied about 260 folks, and that was over a period of about 3 months. And like 8% of those folks ended up backing. Whereas I go to this, I have no idea. We have tiers for new folks to jump on. I made sure that that's a thing. But I don't know. I've always known we're making a very niche project, like super niche. Um, I just don't know. The campaign video, one of the last bits I say in it, uh, it's ringing kind of hollow in my ears right now. Uh, but yeah, I mean that's today, right? Maybe today's just a depression day, and that's where I'm at. Um, who knows? Who the hell knows? Welcome, Scott. Thanks for stopping in. It's just the not knowing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a big part of it, definitely. Um, it's the not knowing. It's a little bit of imposter syndrome, right? Like the what do I bring to all of this incredible artistry? Like, what the fuck? I'm just a jackass. But I love this script. I really do. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's interesting. It's different than anything else we've done, and I think it grows off of what we've done. I'd love to see this book manifest. Absolutely. Um, but like as I've watched the project grow, the imposter syndrome has really like been there. No question. And it's just like, well, I'll do what needs to be done to make sure things work, right? That's how I did it. It didn't matter if I think I belonged there or not. If I'm there, then I have a job to do. Um, I don't want to feel like an anchor to anybody. I don't think I am, right? Like this wouldn't be a huge issue. Um, Slightly problematic if I have to run a couple campaigns and we never fund, right? Um, that kind of changes the perspective on things significantly. But we're not there yet, and we're not hopefully not going to get there, right? But yeah, it's the not knowing. I always hit crisis mode when things are going wrong and are consistently looking for any path to get there, whatever needs to be done. And I have no idea what needs to be done to get there on this one. I've done as much as I could figure, uh, but I just may not have the capability. And I guess again, I won't know. Get 2 months to see if I can fix that. Um, yeah, and I know a lot of folks will be, and it's very kind to you folks being there. Um, I definitely don't expect. That's the thing. I don't expect anything. Um, Oh, to be fair, okay, so no, that's not true. That's not true. I come from the school of hope for the best, expect the worst. So I do expect something, but um, it's yeah, I have no idea, but I'm not feeling great about it today. That's what I know today. Yesterday I was all right. Day before I was all right. Had other things to focus on, right? And not a guy who can kick up the circus. A lot of folks can. Um, Honestly, I'm not a people person whatsoever. Um, I'm kind and honest and earnest to a fault, but that's because that's the only way I can feasibly understand how to deal with people. I don't get them most of the time. So trying to, I don't want to use the word manipulate. Trying to guide or steer um, folks towards even just something simple as awareness of something. Not great at that. Not great at that. Like I've even gone back. I looked at my original online interactions when I was trying to kick this up, and I was a very different person. And that's a big thing too, right? Between these campaigns, between all of this, I'm a different person. There's no question. Like you're a different person every second, every moment, every day, right? That's duh. But um, significant personality changes. That's not so much day to day unless something's really wrong with you. Um, but yeah, between three and this one, a lot's changed for me, right? And even the footing of the world, right? The world's always been crazy. Right now, it's fucking lunacy um, at a magnitude like I was watching an old man kind of watching this creep on, and he was like, "What the fuck?" Uh, and I tend to believe in right place, right time, whether or not you know it, right? But this is one of the things that's a choice to do. I don't have to do this. I feel I have to, but I don't have to do this. And so it's those kind of choices that can lead to some very cool stuff or some really shitty stuff. I don't see this leading to anything really terrible. Again, unless somehow we fund and like inflation has gone up to like 30-40%, but then at that point, comics are probably the least of my worries, and I'll just have to apologize to everybody. But I don't know. We had one of these streams before. To be fair, it was one of the Cody Comics and Coffee or whatever the fuck I call it. Um, and it was about this hesitancy, this trepidation of staring over the edge before you're going to leap, right? Before you take the leap of faith, and literally being able to unable to see anything but the gaping hole. Um, so of course it takes bravery, it takes a bit of stupidity, it takes a little bit of naivety. That's how I got into this at all, is because I was super fucking naive. Um, and like, I don't know. I know what I want. And I have the all but one tool to get there, and that last tool is a very critical tool to everybody, and right now especially. And so there's even this kind of level of guilt uh, to it a little bit. It's like, oh, I'm doing all this shit, but you know, is it really worth your time and your effort and your hard-earned fucking currency? And that's up to you folks to decide. I don't get to decide that. I just get to decide what I feel I can ask for it, right? Um, it's just all this shit. All this shit, man. It just muddies everything. And like, I wish I was drinking, but I don't. I'm stopping that for a while, so I don't have that escape. So I'm stuck with the grinding gears of the old mental blockades. Um, howdy, metal, movies, and brewskis. These books look great. Can't wait to pick them up, man. Love it when the Western is blended with other genres. So do I. Very much so. We're producing a science fiction fantasy uh, post-apocalyptic Western. I think you'll dig it if that's up your line. Um, if you want to get ahead of that, we do have copies through our publisher, Wicked Publishing. 1 and 2, we still have a couple of their very exclusive, very low print run of our original covers done with our new trade dresses. I think those are $5 a piece. That's probably the best way to get a hold of them. Tomorrow, there will be tiers for issues 1 through 4. Very limited, just because of we're using our old stock of books from the last campaign. I couldn't justify reprinting 1 through 3 yet again. The costs that would be applied to the campaign. I'm already asking so very much for this campaign to pay our wonderful art team. I even invested a couple K already myself to lower that. And I didn't build that into the campaign. I just wanted to lower that campaign goal because I really want to make this book. Um, but yeah, anywho, that's the best place to get a hold of it. I'm sorry if some of you folks are here for the first time and you're meeting me like this. I do apologize. Today is an off day. Today is an off day. Howdy Frog G, day 1 backing. Thank you. Please don't feel obligated. Um, Welcome, 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 welcome. Howdy, Mrs. G. Or Mrs. G, Mrs. H. Frog G, Mrs. Yeah, man. Today, again, I got up, took care of what I could, and then I just couldn't deal with most of the day. Fell back asleep, kind of. I woke back up, dealt with what I could, what I had to, and then got back in bed. It's just one of those days. One of those days. And it's, again, it's not really fear. It's a mix of imposter syndrome and worry, which is slightly different than fear. It's close, to be fair. It's close. Um, but most of the worry comes from me not able to carry my weight to make sure that this thing happens for everybody involved who's doing like Maxie's working on pages right now. The book's in production at the moment. I mean, you can see the first 5 pages through my Twitter. It's probably the best place at the moment, or Patreon, right? Um, but for for the launch, right, we'll have 5 inked pages ready to go. But he wants to have the book done by the end of March. So that did change some of the tiers we offered, like in issue 3 as well. We had to kind of change. But it does mean that hopefully, if we were to fund, we're able to ship it out quicker. If we're not able to fund, the book just sits there and his effort goes unpaid, which bothers me, but it's something he wanted to do, and I need the project needs every bit of help we could get, and I think that's part of it. The other part of it, right, is like our art team is very much in demand, thank God, and so that raised what I needed to and need to earn for this campaign to keep them on board for one, and they really appreciate the project. And for two, it also means their time's more limited, right? So that's also why Maxie wanted to do that, is because he's like, I have time right now, so I'm gonna take care of the book so that I can move on to other stuff, and you can still do it and work with this. Which again, that's wonderful, blessing, but it's also very much a burden. You know, but again, every angle I could take, I tried to do with this one. And we'll see. We'll see. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be a lot of fun. Again, today's not so much that, and that's why I'm kind of doing this to just vocalize things. And I don't know, maybe down the line, even out of a selfish way, I can look back at it and say, "Ha, that was a waste of time." You did fine, kid. Like that. That would be great. Um, that's part of it, right? And that's why I have the channel. And some of what I try to do on Patreon, but it's a big part of why I have the channel is documentation. Honestly, like we don't have a big old audience. I can't kick up a circus. We don't. This doesn't earn any money. Um, it's just another angle to connect and to document this work I really love. The work is worth it. You're down on day one backers for sure. Separately, of course. Ha. Okay. What's the most expensive tier? $500. Is there a retail tier? No. Um, so I mean, you're asking. Let's do that and give me a focal point besides just bitching and moaning from my own brain space, right? We don't need to be there. We need to be. I think it's this one. This one. Okay, folks. So this is the barrel of the gun I'm staring down. 500 backers. It could be a little less. It could be a little more, depending on what tiers sell, right? But 500, and we should have that. That would be a little under 50 more backers than our previous campaign got, including in demand. This will go on in demand if it funds, but we'll see. So feature perk, start right there. This is the easiest one. Issue number 4. You get issue number 4, you get one of the 3 random pinups, you get a sticker, and you get your digital. Pretty simple, basic stuff. $20, $5 shipping US. These places suck for shipping, but they're accurate prices. So I do apologize if you're out of the country and listening to this. The shipping prices are insane right now, and I really wish there was a workaround, and there might be. But through personally shipping things out, not so much currently. But yeah, so $25 will get you everything. You get your 48-page floppy and this stuff, kind of what we've done previously. Cheapest tier, issue number 4, $4 digital. Just throw us $4, and then when it's done, you get your book. highest profit margin. No, I don't know if it's the best profit margin, but it's a good one. It's a good one. And definitely not limited. Digital book. Digital book. Um, issue number one. So this one was interesting. I had to make sure what total of books we had remaining from previous campaign, which originally had other plans. What I've tried to do with my partnership with Wicked Publishing is make sure that it was as symbiotic as possible. They are a major and the primary reason we even ever had physical releases. And the fact that we had physical options in our original campaign is how it got funded. Um, and they did a lot of incredible things behind the scenes during that campaign. It's kind of what kicked a door open for us to be able to do any more work. Um, Anywho, so those original issues, those remnant from the campaign books, I had a different plan that was kind of a gift to them, but we had to rethink that. They're very kind about that because we want this to fund, and is it is what it is. But anyway, $10, you get an issue number one digital, and you get a copy of issue number one from our previous campaign, which is a limited print run. We're not reprinting that cover. That's kind of why the price is up a little bit more. I think it's 10 USD and 3 shipping, I believe is what I did for that. You don't get the pinup, you don't get the sticker. Mainly because I didn't budget for the amount of issues on offer right here to each include those extra things. I did for certain things. So like you can go into this perk and say you want it, right? Let's say you want this. You go in. I'll talk about the retail perk in a minute and why we can't do it, Mrs. H. There's a very specific reason. Um, and it's mainly print run, right? I can, if somehow this funds real quick, and then we're actually going into stretch goals, I'm happy to add a retail tier to a stretch goal. But how I have this budgeted and the amount of issues we have to work with, nobody's going to want to buy just issue number fours. And so, yeah, I might as well get into it right now. Nobody's going to buy just issue number fours for a retail tier. We had 6 retailers, quote unquote retailers. I don't even think they were retailers. I think they just wanted multiple copies of the books. Last campaign, and so they got 15 books. We do kind of have a retail tier, so we'll get into that. But it's not. You'll see. But the thing is, we're only printing the funds are only here to print new issue number fours, and we can print as many of those number fours as we'd like by the time we know like what the demand is at the end of the campaign. But we can't print any more 1 through 3s. And new retailers probably would rather have either the whole set or just number ones, right? So I had to kick that back and forth in my head for a bit. And so if I did that, I'd have to take issues from these limited entry tiers, like this issue number one tier we're looking, and put those into retailer bundles. And then there would be very few retailer bundles and a lot less places for regular folks to jump on. So that was one of the trade-offs I did. But anyway, so if you back this issue number one, you can still get the bookmark or the poster. Like the 2 of the add-ons are still there, so you can still get some extras if you want to pay for them. But the pinups, no, not so much. Maybe as a stretch goal, I'd love to give everybody a pinup, but again, I can't. I knocked this as low as physically possible so that it doesn't kill me if we fund. Again, I had to put about 4K into the last campaign because of how the budget worked. And thank God for those stimulus things. I'm not a well-off fella. I mean, I work at a doggy daycare, folks. I'm lucky I don't have like a huge amount of rent to pay monthly. I just got to worry about utilities. And there's a bunch of other shit going on with me. I still have to deal with this year. But I can't have this kick me down, and that was part of, I did as much as I could, pre-invest, knock it down as low as I could, make sure everybody's taken care of, and that's why I'm terrified of that number, because as much as I wrestled it, I couldn't get it any lower. Bugs me. Another place to jump on, digital bundle, of course, 1 through 4. Quite a bit. Oh, let's see, that would be 96. 128. And about 180 pages of content in the digital bundle for 16 bucks. Not bad. Not bad. About $4 a digital. Of course, you'll get didn't put it down here yet because I'm not sure what they're going to be, but we always include a bunch of digital extras. Some of them ends up being crazy surprises, so that will be there. And so here's the thing. I did do this, and this is partially why we couldn't do the retailer tier, Mrs. H. Issues 1 through 4 bundle. We had about 110 issues of issue number 3s left that were clean and good. We had 197 issue number 2s that are clean and good, and 205, I think, issue number 1s that were clean and good. And why I'm saying clean and good, you'll see in a second. So we're offering this tier. um, uh, So about, what is that? It's a little under about $12 piece. I'm not sure. I don't remember what the shipping is. But you get everything with this tier. And it's partially why I couldn't offer the retail tier. So there's only 100 entry points here. But if we did that, it's a good chunk of the way to what we need to fund. So I'm very lucky that having to consider taking back, like, call it a promise and call it a word. It was neither of those things, but to me they kind of were, to Wicked, and being able to just offer these things that, I already paid for with last campaign, right? Allowed us to do this, and hopefully it'll be very helpful. But it's partially why we couldn't offer more retail tiers. Now we do have something that could be considered a retail tier, but you'll see why, and that might be the next thing. It is the next thing. So people are looking at this both, right? And you see $45, issue 1 through 4 bundle. Misprint 1 through 3s for $45. What are you doing? That's because there's 5 of each. And so anybody who's been following our work for a good chunk of time will know that one of the hurdles that we had to overcome last campaign was a printing issue. And throughout that, due to a shipping error and a couple other things, we ended up with the misprinted books staying with us, which isn't usually the case. Most of the time, printers will want you to send back the misprinted books so they can pulp them or whatever the hell they want to do with them, right? Just to make sure that you're not also selling that. They don't want to set a standard that you could, swindle them or whatever. I get that, 100%. So anyway, due to a lot of bits there, we ended up with these 1,500 quote-unquote misprint or reader copy books. I do have a video on the campaign page, and of course it's on the channel. Just look up on the channel search misprints, and you'll get it. That explains what the misprinting issues are. Mainly the blacks are a little bit, like the inking's a little smudged. Like you can tell the colors are a little off. The lettering, just like the inking, is a little smudged. Again, this is like pixel level smudging. It's not like big old art smudge kind of ink problem. It's pixel level, like little things. Nothing that makes any of the word balloons or words like illegible. Nothing that changes the scenes to be illegible. Just wasn't to the standard that I had discussed with the printer, like over months of having it delivered to us, and over the negotiations, and man, the proof copy bit with those guys, it was good. I had an incredible person who's since passed work with me from that printer, and man, I really wish I could be working with them still, because of all that effort we mutually put together to build that relationship. It really bums me out. The printer, of course, still exists. I'm likely to contact them again. I've just been kind of hesitant to for a few reasons. But nonetheless, we ended up with these. So we have tons of them. We have tons of them. We have 1,500 books, so we have 500 of each issue. So as 25 of each of these, that's about 125 of each of the issues going out the door, which would be good for Wicked, who's been storing these suckers. And it would be good for us because it's a great profit margin. We didn't even have to pay for these books at the end of the day. And it's a lot of copies. And of course, they are readable. In fact, some of them might be perfect. That's kind of what we discovered. I wanted folks at Wicked to kind of open them and look at them now that they're ours to make sure like any of the boxes are all the books fucked. And there's a good chance some of them aren't. So you might be getting a crazy deal on some of these books. But of course, we don't include issue number 4 in that bundle. Again, because I don't know what the print run issue number 4 is going to be. I'd love to shoot between 500 and 1,000. If you hit 1,000 with most printers, you get a significant price drop. 500 is not much of a price drop from 250 or so, but we need to print probably at least the 500 books. Then we have issue number 4 in the standee bit. I did not get the standee in yet to kind of have a preview on the campaign before launch, which sucks, but is what it is. It's a little wooden standee. I've talked about it on stream a few times, and as soon as I have an image of the rough one, I will totally put it up on the campaign page. And if I can edit this tier and put the picture of it, I totally will. I'm not sure if you can change the picture. I know you can't change like the data on the tier once it's bought, but you can. But I think there should be a chance that I can change the picture of it. If not, it is what it is. It is going to be the BoogieBot pinup. What I want to do is cut it out. However, the preview stand I'm getting is just the rectangle pinup on a stand, right? But what I'd like to do is have it cut out so it's more of a kind of classical standee kind of dealy, and we can totally do that very, very easily. I just got to see if the demand's there, and standees have a decent profit margin and a relatively highly perceived value from what I've seen in previous efforts, though those are usually female characters, and that's something that Jack does not have that ace in the hole. I don't play with sexy at all in my writing. It's just not the angle. Like romance is one thing, but that more like sex appeal kind of angle, I don't know how to approach it. It's just not part of my makeup. If you folks are interested in that for IronVerse Comics, Cactus Coyote definitely plays at that angle, and so coming towards whatever we end up doing with that property is more likely to find that there. But for me, we don't have that angle, and I don't know if that'll translate to the standee or not. I guess is the point. And then this is the big one. This is the big tier. I offered these last go, and I was terrible about my timing getting them through. It was a mix of grief and like sitting myself down to paint with where my mentality was during most of last year. Very difficult. I did it. I did it. I didn't, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the delays that were put on me, like getting the metal cards out and stuff, that was me trying to push through grief to get what can often be monotonous work done. I eventually was able to do those figures last year because I was like, well, if I sit down, I set up a camera, and I just do it on stream, it forces me to focus. And that worked. So that's what I'll do again with these guys. I did raise the price because of how much effort it ended up being. So I don't really actually expect any of these to get snagged to this go. But if they are, they're a huge help on the profit margin. So I'm very, that I say profit margin. I don't profit off this. All of it, I need to make profits on the tiers so I can pay the art team to make the tiers. There's no profit in this for me. Even if we funded maximum, like say we got 30K somehow, right? I have to take care of taxes. Steve, part of how I got that total lower was we negotiated a lower page rate with the possibility of making up that page rate if we got high enough. So I got to take care of that if we were able to. God forbid inflation keeps climbing and climbing. That one scares the shit out of me, honestly. Um, Many reasons, and again, if it does, this is one of the least like problems most people will have, but it's it sucks that it affects my work on that level. Um, and yeah, so that's the main bits I'm worried about there. And why I kind of kicked that tier up quite a bit is because it's just a ton of effort. It's a ton of fucking effort, and I don't know if my painting skills are actually worth that amount, but it's what could get me to do the thing, and I'm never gonna do it again. If we have a crazy um, somehow we get a new 3D model and it looks really cool printed out and whatever, maybe issue 5, issue 6, something different. But I'm not going to do it again with these models. There's a few reasons too, because I'm not really very happy with these models. Apparently, the new versions of them should have less of the problems I really had with the previous ones. But that's yet to be seen. I know what the adaptation was. Instead of just being 3 pieces, which was the base, Jack, and his cape, now it's the base, Jack, each arm, and his cape. The problem with these models was that during shipping, the gun barrels being as thin as they were tended to break off. That's shipping to me or shipping to the backers. And so um, and so disconnecting the arms for the shipping to me or to anybody who buys the blanks, that should solve that gun barrel problem. And all you need to do is place them in warm water for a second or two if the resin's all wonky, which can happen with thin resin and like stuff like the gun barrels. Um, so metal movies and brewskis. I'm not an artist. I really wish I could offer that kind of stuff. Um, but Maxi, like he's again very high in demand. I'm lucky that he had the time to do these pages. Um, the other tier that I wanted to have ready before launch that doesn't look like I'm going to have ready before launch is the original pages. He works traditionally. Um, and so, in fact, I'll show you folks that just because they're cool to look at. So just give me a second while I dive into that and show you. Um, all there's stuff to read there, but I don't need to read that right now. Let's go up here and I will open up these images. So the other tier that I had spoke of that would probably be in between the painted figure and the standee tier, I guess, is these original pages. And so he and I are trying to figure out because these are his. Um, I never want to be on the wrong side like fucking Lee and Kirby. That shit, the original work, the shit he put to page is his. So we're offering these eventually. I'm hoping by tonight I'll have like it worked out, but um, we're offering these and like basically the whole total needs to go to Maxi. And so I was trying to figure out how I can do that and then like add a quote unquote commission or whatever that'll go to the project. Um, and not have it become a liability. That was a problem. I still figuring it out, and I might have it all messed up in my head. I've been working it over 3 days, and I just can't figure it out. So, uh, anywho, one of the issues is, of course, he's doing different pages on different size paper, which is one of the things he had to explain to me, as you can see. But they will end up on the page one way or another. I think I might have confused him a little bit with what I said last time because partway through our conversation, I realized that by paying him almost all of it from the original page, then that leaves me having to recover that total from the campaign total if we just barely fund, right? If there's not enough profit overhand, then I'm stuck with it. Um, Yeah. What was Elizabar saying? Get someone to show you how to do a quick single line profile of Jack, and you can sell remarked editions. Just copying the same pen stroke over and over. Instant $5 on the price. Is it $5 effort though on my end? I don't know. Like I'm not an artist whatsoever. I've shown off my original Jack sketches. They're just terrible. You can hit up other artists to do 3-pack per said artist perk. My buddy did 3 cards, mailed them to me, and I'm mailing them to the backers. Oh, gotcha. Little late. Those are things like logistics I can't work out in like 12 hours. But thank you. That's something to consider. Like I'm trying to do a simple of stuff. Like I can offer a million different things, folks. I've had streams on this through Shopify, through a bunch of different things. But like the personal touch stuff, like I'm not even doing metal cards again this time, just because of the nightmare it turned out to be for me this last year. Going through and getting that done, I let myself down and I let a bunch of backers down. I got it done. I'm never gonna not get the thing I need to do done, but in a timely manner. Bothers me that I can't. But I'm always super hard on myself, and I'm trying to be a little less hard on myself, um, just so I can survive. Mentally, right? Like it's not good to. So I'm trying to be more aware of my limits so I don't take on too much this go. Because last go I forced a lot upon myself during a time I couldn't do it, and I had to force myself to do it, and that took an extra toll, right? Um, and I'm not through that battle. In fact, it's a lifelong battle. I've been dealing with a very similar battle for like 7 years, and now I just have this is wave 2 of a very similar battle, and I'm not through it. I'm not to an equilibrium with it, right? Um, but if I waited longer on this campaign, I don't think it would be done. Um, I think Jack would probably be over. Um, because our art team is moving on and growing. That's wonderful relationships, good friends. Um, but it's getting to a scale of where I don't know what their page rates are with the other projects they're doing. However, the page rate they're asking of me is to a point where, like, again, if I get these numbers wrong, I'm sunk. Um, thank you, thank you. $30 a card. Uh, that'd be great. Again, I don't want to. It's such a tough thing doing this again. I feel guilty even launching. Talked about it, even launching a campaign. Like I take heart in the fact that I see so many others doing it. I know crowdfunding is like I've seen hungry crowdfunding. I've seen it many times since I've been doing it. This time is incredibly hungry. Um, so that's why I'm like, okay, I mean, maybe folks do have the ability to help us out without hurting themselves, right? Um, that's why I was gonna launch Monday, and I was like, I'm probably not gonna be ready Monday. And then I thought, well, I'll launch Wednesday. And it's like, oh no, there's another campaign whose creator I really respect launching Wednesday. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Okay. Well, then Friday, it's got to be because otherwise I got to wait till next week. And I have an interview with somebody on Monday about the campaign. So it would have to be Monday because I work the weekends and I'm just not going to be around to deal with that stuff. Uh, so tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. Always stressful. You got this. Well, thank you, and thank you for your ideas. I'm not trying to shoot anything down, right? Like I would do everything I could. I just it's defining I could, right? That I've had to kind of redefine as I put myself through the ringer getting the last one done when I certainly didn't have to. To be fair, I knew like within about a month and a half of launching the last campaign that like I had fucked up the numbers. I knew it. Like I had double checked, triple checked, and then I like looked at it again with different eyes, less like, oh, I gotta do this, it'll be fun kind of eyes. And I was like, wait, that doesn't work. Oh boy. So I was quietly at the same time I was having to hype and be super stoked about the campaign, right? Give it my all. I was quietly like, ah, craziness is happening in the world. We're probably not gonna fund. Thank God. And then last day, 40% funding, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. Okay, let's do this. I'll do everything I can to get it done. And I totally did, right? Um, and then within just a few months after that funded, and we had kind of gotten all the pages of the issue in, the art end of it had kind of finished. Um, and I delivered the digital issue number 3 and started getting the proofs of the physical of the issue 3, and my dad passed. Only person really in my life of any substance. Um, I mean, I spent every day with the guy. He was 80. I mean, old man. Um, but so I knew I had fucked up. I knew I had to do this anyway, and I was grieving like crazy. Um, and so I did it, but it made a period in my life that was already difficult just an extra level of like more responsibility. And I don't think I could do it again. And you know what? I'm not going to have to do it again. There's no way a situation exactly like that will prop up again. I just don't have the people. Um, but uh, it, and then there was a whole nother thing that fucking tainted after I put in all that work. There was another thing that like I had printed all these issues and a fucking piece of art in it from a piece of shit ended up in it that I didn't, at the time I had no idea. But fucking guy that knew before I even went to printing just hid the information and then find out. Ugh, fucking mess. That was the worst bit of storm on just the comics end I've ever had to deal with. Just disgusting. Broke my heart. I almost got out of comics from that, dealing with my grieving. I mean, that was within what, a month, maybe 2 weeks of my dad passing. I I did it last year, man. Um, so I hope folks can understand why I'm more timid this one and why I'm fearful, because the last experience was beautiful that I got the work out. Beautiful. I was able to get work for other folks during a very difficult time. Um, Beautiful that I got these books to people who enjoyed them. But I can't go through that fight again in anything near it. I don't have the heart anymore. So I'm being more timid, more cautious. I'm trying to integrate everything I've learned. I've tried very hard to pivot promotion. I've tried very hard to pivot my social interactions so I don't become privy to that kind of shit again. Um, because this stuff means the world to me, but like I don't do it for profit. I don't do it for a living. I do it because I love it, and I don't want to fall out of love with it. And last year came very close, very, very, very close. What time am I launching? I'm gonna wake up as early as I can. Again, I slept through most of today, so I'll probably be up all night. I really hope not. Um, I'm hoping tomorrow morning. I am Mountain Standard Time. I'm shooting for 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, but it might be 11, it might be 9, it might be 1. Is when I can wake up, clean up, get some coffee in me, have some breakfast, and just like focus. That's when I'm going to do it. I'll be here. I can promise you that. I will be live on YouTube when I press the button. And I'm planning on staying for a couple hours. We're going to do the first trial of one of my PR stunts. during that time. It's nothing like I say stunt, right? It's not going to attract anything, but it's something fun for me to do while being available while the campaign's running. So it'll be fun. But again, I don't think it'll. Well, depending on the one I choose to do, it might be a bit of a stunt. But yeah, so I'll be here tomorrow. It should be tomorrow morning, and I'm shooting for like 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Frog. Um, Morning B, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you here. Um, Certainly not recently. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, last year was just nuts, and just went through the anniversary last month, end of last month, so just a couple weeks ago. And then of course Valentine's Day was my parents' anniversary, and of course they're both gone. So that one hurt. Monday was kind of a interesting one. Um, so but these are all personal things that I don't. This means a lot to me. The work's very very personal to me. What I write, what I choose to tackle in the work's very personal to me. Um, I mean, it started off. It started off because she passed. You can see that in the opening pages of issue number one. um, and then issue number three, uh, I printed a bit, and it was proof. It hit print um, before he passed, but there's a passing of a father in that. Issue number two, we have some other things. So the work ends up being Grant Morrison has a speech on it, and you can call me crazy, whatever. I found great strength in sigil magic, um, but what you write and what you try and manifest can indeed manifest, and so that's been something I've tried to notice and recognize with issue number four script as well, and tried to do something good with it. We'll see, but it's it's weird, and diving into the next wave here is terrifying. Just straight out, just completely terrifying. And it's not terrified of being incompetent, being proven incompetent. Sure, that's a little scary, but whatever. Um, Letting folks down is the next tier up of that really hurts. Like I want to be on the level with those I work with. I want to help drive them to further success while they do the same for me. Um, so that's and then of course delivering a project and a product that people love and enjoy. Um, Letting people down is the next tier. Letting myself down is that other one because again, not the kindest to myself, and little victories go very far with me. Big victories go very very far. It helps give me a footing in all of this craziness. Um, and the top level is like I don't have another path I really want to walk, right? Like I work with animals. I'm very blessed to be able to. Um, I get them very much. So that path I'm very blessed to do. I get to improve people's lives like every day, people souls lives, wonderful beings lives. Nearly every day I work. Um, that means a lot to me. The honesty and direct feedback I can get from that interaction means a lot to me, and no guessing, um, no worrying about under layers of negotiation and speech and communication, right? No, it's this is what we're talking about, quote unquote. Um, like that path I very much appreciate, but it doesn't go further than where I'm already at with it, right? Um, it doesn't grow. Um, and man, yeah, last Sunday too, that was fun. A terrible day last Sunday. Worked there 5 years, and it's the first time I came in and opened a run, and we had a critter who had passed. That Glad it was me instead of my other coworker who does that, but not fun, man. Like this year's trying to kick me as hard as last, but there's just not enough to kick left to do the same amount of damage. Um, so yeah, I appreciate getting this personal because I'm not afraid of it. Never have been. Tackle all of these situations as direct as I can with everything I am. But it's also not like the circus. It's not the fun. It's not the uplift that a lot of people want out of a product, out of entertainment. Um, and you read Jack. There's humor, absolutely. But uplift is a little tougher for me. And number four should have a bit of that. Number four, again, as I say, is a middle finger to systemic suffering. So I say on the campaign page there. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Howdy, howdy, El Crudo. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the most downer stream I've done in a long time. I hope you're in a good mood so I can crush it. But yep, Jack 4 tomorrow. Jack 4 tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. In production as the campaign runs. Should have a quicker delivery that way. We've got all the stuff about ready. Prices are as low as I could get them while making sure that I don't get crushed by a success like I was with Jack 3. And we'll see if folks are interested. Again, super niche project, super niche story, super niche creator. Amazing line art, beautiful coloring. Um, but don't know if folks are, gonna be into it. Um, One of the signs of that was that like as things went on with Jack 3, I started getting less and less reactions to campaign updates, which you expect, right? But it got like super low. And I was expecting like I gave like advanced page previews and stuff through that as well, and like no reactions. So I may have lost many previous backers, not only in the running of Jack 3's campaign and finish, the delivery of Jack 3's campaign, but also perhaps in my social interactions. I have no idea. Again, I'm fucking near socially blind, so I just gotta treat everything as directly as possible and hope it's the right way to treat it. So I have no idea. But there's like so many things I've watched and I'm like, okay. Um, it was nice that, of course, the Illustrator Monk pinup is got a lot of attention. That was wonderful. And my favorite page Maxie's ever produced, which is this fella right here. This fella right here. Um, that got a good amount of reaction as well, which is great because I think it's fucking stellar. Again, it's probably my favorite piece he's ever produced, and there's 3 more encounters to see, so I'm super excited to see what he does with them. Some shit hit our fan too this year, but at least there's always comics, and your LCS had a rad quarter bin. Yeah, I don't have a LCS within 60 miles, so I don't get to a comic shop very often. Sadly, that would be fun. That would be fun. Um, I'm reading stuff, like I'm always reading stuff, but uh, nothing's been like super great. Like I'll try and read goofy, like one of the few things that can pick me up is super like cute romance stuff. Like I'll totally do that here and there just to try and pick my spirits up. Um, but I haven't had anything like that in a bit. Also have done like right now I'm reading Shield by Steranko. I'm still in the part where it's Stan Lee writing and Jim Kirby doing everything basically but the inks, which with Steranko just doing the inking. Um, and it's it's 60s comics, so it's very slow as molasses, but it has a lot of personality. But it's so slow, like it takes forever to get anywhere in the plot. Like I don't tear through it. Sucks. I read some Punisher Max, try and return to my kind of what got me into comics, and like all of it, but the last anthology bit was like mediocre at best. Um, I do have a issue, the Omnia, the volume whatever 7. Yeah, volume 7 of Shaman King's waiting at the post office. I'll pick that up tomorrow. Hopefully, it's better than volume 6 and volume 5, which kind of are very nothing's really happening again. Um, and I forgot what it was called, Eliza Bar, but you recommended it, and it had to do with numerical philosophy presented in comics or some such. And so that should be there as well. So I'm kind of excited to check that out. I love that kind of stuff. Epicurus the Sage was just wonderful. Um, but yeah, like I've had The Witcher pulled out forever. I have Dark Horse's Witcher omnibus, right? And I read that a good chunk of that year and a half ago. It's like I should try and finish that. I really enjoyed season 2 of The Witcher, and like I just haven't even been able to open it. Is what it is what it is. But I think we went through all the tiers on the campaign there. I think we did. I explained them as best I could. There's the art on there. I do explain the perks down here. I hope that works for folks. Um, where the funds are going. All of that good stuff. And like there's not much else I can do. Like the campaign video could be better, but like I was hoping I'd have the energy and heart to film a new campaign video, or at least edit this one differently, or do another take on it, something, right? I didn't this week, so it is what it is. I can do that at any time, though. That's one part of the campaign you can edit. So I just hope it doesn't turn people off of the campaign. That's my bit. Like, I don't know if it'll help people decide if they want to back it, which, but I just hope it doesn't turn people off. Um, that's all I can do. Just pull the trigger tomorrow and see what happens. I'm running the full 60 days. Um, what I should have done with the hardcover Kickstarters, I should have run the full. I believe Kickstarter will let you go 60 days as well. If I had done that with the hardcover, there would have maybe been a chance of funding. Um, so I'm making sure to do that this time. So we won't finish till mid-April. There's plenty of time for me to, I don't know, for things to happen. Hopefully good things. Um, yeah, very much hopefully good things. I do not know though. The options I could without going too crazy on them. And we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's a terrifying number. We've hit 14K before, but that was with in demand. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I have much else to say, folks. I could talk more downer bits, but I think I talked through most of the jitters. I talked through most of them. It's just the terror of repeating problems of last year, the terror of putting so much work into it and still having messed up, even if you succeed. The fear of letting others down, and all that fun stuff. Um, but if you have any questions on the campaign while I'm still around, I'm happy to answer. Even if I've already answered them this stream, I'm happy to answer again. Um, but I think I covered most everything. I don't know if these pictures are the most optimal, but I think they do show what we can create, so I guess it works. And I gotta stick to that one. That's the pain in the ass, right? I've had that come up so many fucking times in the work, and it's just what it is. Just what it is. You just fucking walk through the fire. If you're going through hell, keep going. Um, yeah, folks. I think that's probably it. Again, thank you. I mean, 5 folks watching this at any given time is crazy. To be honest, the channel does not attract much viewership, so it's really kind of neat to see that, especially on a downer stream. um, but it's probably, let me see how long I've been at this. Almost an hour. Probably a little over an hour because restream here is always inaccurate. OBS isn't though. Let me see. Hour 11. Yeah, that sounds about right. Um, man, I wish I had a quarter bin around here. But then again, I'd have way too many comics if there was a quarter bin near me. If I'm honest. Uh, so yeah, folks, I think I'm gonna call it there, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. That's the plan. I'm just gonna make some breakfast, feed the critters here, and pull the trigger. I'm sure I'll be blasting it through every social media outlet I have, and we'll see what I'm gonna say what I can do, but sadly, um, yeah, a little bit because I wish I could do it all myself. It's not just up to me. Um, it's up to wonderful folks like yourselves and our previous readers if they want us to keep going. I'd love to be able to do more than one book a year. I just don't. I mean, we had to miss last year. Um, I just don't know if we actually have the demand um, and the we have the capability. Just I don't know if the story we're telling is a story that can hit those beats. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just hoping I can do one this year, right? And thank you so much, Metal Movies and Brewskis, for stopping in, for the words of encouragement, and for the suggestions. Um, very grateful for those. Really do appreciate your time and your interest. Thank you, Morning B, for stopping in, words of encouragement, and listening to me vent a little. El Crudo, thank you, stopping by, saying howdy, sharing uh, your own times, and that's what we're doing. Tomorrow is Jack 4. Thank you, Frog G, if you're still here, for stopping in and being a constant supporter. Thank you, Mrs. H, for being Team IronVerse, helping us get more of our stuff done and continuing to grow. Um, Elias Barr, thank you for continuing to pay attention with us, even though I think I almost lost you issue number 2. I'm so glad you told me that I almost lost you issue number 2. I think there was some good growth there. Um, Scott, I don't know if you're still here. Thank you so much. What I saw from you today is incredible, and I can't wait till we can start teasing that in a more official manner. Um, oh, wow, there's a bunch of quotes I missed way earlier. I'm sorry, folks. I missed one where Elias Barr said he's not going to back to the last second to keep me living in doubt and uncertainty like a true bro. Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Uh, and Scott says he expects to at least get the name of that Secret Six project. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ready for that. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for it. But thank you folks so much. I'm gonna spend the rest of the evening worrying and hopefully doing something fun. Critter. Yeah, she's been with me all day, just sleeping next to me all that. Such a trooper. Saved my life constantly. Anywho, take care, folks, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning on that rusty IronVerse Comics trail.